What's going on, everyone, and welcome to our review of Jeepers Creepers. Now, before we get into the whole topic, the whole review of Jeepers Creepers, I am going to say a disclaimer right now. We all know what the controversy behind this film. It is fucking disgusting. Excuse my French if there's any kids listening. It's disgusting. I'm not going to say this director's name because I feel like he doesn't even deserve it at all. Granted, I know people can just look up his name on Google, but I don't even like saying his name. Let's just say that. And me and Izzy have debated on covering this movie for a long time. Just because, I don't like what this director did. It is disgusting. To me, he deserves a burn in hell. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But I can't take away what the cast of the first three movies have done, hard work. Granted, the second movie was a little dull. The third movie was something else. Let's just say that. The fourth movie sucks. But you can't tell me that first movie wasn't something amazing. I'm not saying it was a masterpiece, but it was a damn good horror movie. So I can't take that away from Justin Long. I can't take that away from Jonathan Breck. I can't take that away from Gina Phillips. It just sucks that this franchise could have been up there with Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, the big dogs. It could have been up there. But it just sucks that there's a certain director and name that's attached to this movie that just tarnishes his legacy.
Yeah, for me, it's sad how much this director ruined for the people in this film and how hard they worked, and it just tarnished everything.
Yeah, it's disgusting, and I don't want to say I asked for permission from, fans that listen to this podcast, but I know I do have fans that are parents, and I had some talks with them, Ty, he's a very close friend of mine. He's a friend of this podcast, He has a daughter, and I asked him, how would you feel if I talked about this movie? And he's like, I love this movie, but just please don't mention the director's name. Just like many other people that listen to this channel have asked me, and out of respect and love for those people, I am not mentioning those names.
Yes, and then for me, if you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Jocelyn. I'm a friend of Izzy's and Vicente's for a while, and I'm a horror buff. I have not seen this movie up until a few days ago when they introduced me, and even though I had not seen it, I have definitely heard of the controversy, which sucks because I've heard great things about it. I heard that it was very scary and it just left a lasting impact, but it is sad to see that even for the people that have not seen it, that could be pushed off of it because of this controversy that this said director has left.
Yes, and another disclaimer too, we are only doing the first two movies, and I'm not trying to take anything away because, in my opinion, I only like the first two movies. Jeepers Creepers 3, that's something else. That's a whole different ballgame. Jeepers Creepers 4, I am sorry. You could threaten me or whatever. I am never watching that movie again, even if it's for free. I much rather watch paint dry. That's just my opinion. But yeah, those are just our disclaimers. We hope you stick around for this review and for review of Jeepers Creepers 2, but let's get into it. Jeepers Creepers released in 2001 during the Memorial Day weekend. And who knew a movie about siblings trying to outrun a killer would be so fucking popular and be such a hit with audiences? Now, for me, I remember this movie as a kid. There wasn't really a lot of hype surrounding this movie, as far as I remember, when it got announced in the weeks leading up towards it, because it's it could be some normal slasher or whatever, monster movie or whatever. But when this movie came out, opening weekend, holy crap! I remember I saw it opening weekend in a packed theater with my older brother Victor and my sister Adriana. Oh my god, everyone in that fucking theater was scared. I'm going to be a little controversial right now. I would say Jeepers Creepers is easily one of, not the best, but easily one of the best horror movies of the early 2000s.
Yeah, for me, I didn't watch this movie until I met Vicente, but after I watched it, it was probably one of the most creepiest movies ever, especially the way that it pairs music with the horror.
Yeah, same thing. It's just I had heard a lot of amazing things about like the ambiance, like the scary factor, the creeper, and then especially the great acting of who plays the siblings in the movie. And even though I had not seen it until earlier this week, I had only just heard those things, but I'm so happy that it lived up to the hype of it and all the great things that I've heard from my friends, especially Vicente and Izzy.
Oh yeah, when we first showed this movie to Jocelyn, I should have told her it's gonna fuck with your mind. It is very disturbing. And she's like, "Oh God, let's see," because I don't want to say I hype up things a little too much, but you know what I mean. But after the movie, especially after that ending, which we'll talk about, she went, that was a very fucked up movie. Holy crap. And that's what makes it so good, is that it's not what you expect from a horror movie. Like, there's a lot of twists, there's a lot of turns, and sometimes the heroes never make it out. We're not going to spoil it just yet, but for me, I give this movie a good, solid 9.1 out of 10. It's in my top 10 for horror movies of all time.
Yeah, for me, I think I probably give it about maybe an 8.75.
I'd say the same thing about an 8.75, that this was definitely very creepy. And like Vicente said, he has introduced me to a good handful of horror movies that I had not seen either in a long time or had never seen. And I was like, yeah, this definitely tripped me up hella bad. But I had a good time while I was watching it, so.
Yeah, so if you've never seen this movie, please go away, because we're going to talk about spoilers. Or if you do not care, let's go along for the ride and get into our positives and negatives.
One.
And for our first positive for Jeepers Creepers, we have to get it out of the way. Jonathan Breck as the Creeper. And we're going to show a video right now of his audition tape. This man, I'm not going to lie, he's a good-looking man, handsome man. But when he's, even without the makeup, this dude is fucking terrifying. Like, he's embodying the role of the Creeper without knowing what the Creeper looks like. He's acting like an apex predator. And even the director and people on the production team were fucking scared and horrified. And yeah, watching our audition tape, hell yeah, he was scary.
Yeah, for watching the audition tape for the first time, he really embraces the animal aspect of the Creeper.
Yeah, I saw that recently. I'm like, holy crap. Like, just with him in, like, as, like, his normal self, but just no hair, and just seeing him enter into the room, I'm like, whoa, that entire energy of that room changed, and I'm like, holy crap, this is how he is without, like, the Creeper outfit. Like, he did amazing. I was so impressed.
Yeah, and the fact that, like, he's that scary even without the makeup, dude, you got a winner right there. And I know we talk about Kane Hodder as an amazing Jason Voorhees, the great Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, and even Tony Todd as Candyman. But I feel like when it comes to Jonathan Breck, he never gets the love that he deserves when it's time for the Creeper, because he's a damn good Creeper. He's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I can imagine anyone else as the Creeper who could bring this same energy to this character. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, and if one of the MVPs of this trilogy, because sadly in the fourth movie he wasn't in it. I don't know why. Not saying it would have saved the movie, but fuck, you can tell it's missing. I will say this, Jonathan Breck was easily the MVP of the first movie, second movie, and the third movie. And you can tell just by interviews when he's talking about the movie or when he does Comic-Cons and stuff, he still loves this movie despite the controversy and everything else. It's a role that he's always going to embrace and that he's always going to cherish. And to me, that's what makes him a horror legend in my book. He may not be that greatly known, like I said, when it comes to Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, Nick Castle, George P. Wilbur, and Tony Todd as their respective horror characters. But god damn it, you can't ignore Jonathan Breck as a Creeper. He's up there in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the way he embraces the character just brings life into the role.
Oh my god, yeah. And I'm happy we have another horror legend in this genre. And our second positive for this movie, the sibling chemistry between Justin Long and Gina Phillips. Now, it's kind of hard to get a good brother and sister dynamic when it comes to movies. I mean, yeah, like, take for instance how, like, you want, like, big names in movies, especially horror movies. Like, for instance, there were so many big names being thrown around for It Chapter 2, like Chris Pratt as Ben, you know, or even, who was the guy, Patrick Wilson as Bill, you know, for It Chapter 2. But sometimes, like, I don't want to say ego will get in the way, but ego will get in the way. But Justin Long and Gina Phillips, it's almost believable. Like, they could be siblings. Like, and it's good when you have that perfect chemistry. And I think that's important when you have a horror movie that involves a sister and brother dynamic, is that you just can't get anyone, even if they're big names, you just can't get anyone. You have to make sure they have that chemistry to where it's believable that they're siblings. And I love their little banter together. You know, they're teasing each other, like when they're on the open highway out in the country, they're trying to say, oh, what does the license plate means, and stuff like that. And during their scared moments together, you can tell that they deeply love one another and that they will protect each other to the death, even if it means one of them has to go.
Yeah, they were believably siblings, and it wasn't like, oh, they were siblings and family members. No, they were like platonic friendship siblings.
Yeah, like, it was a fun brother-sister dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a believable performance that, hey, they could really pass off as siblings. They act like siblings. Yeah, they pick at each other, they banter, they fight with each other sometimes, but when it comes down to it, they're family, and they are there for each other, and they will protect each other whenever they can.
Yeah, and like I said, another highlight of this entire franchise is that they managed to get the sister-brother dynamic perfectly. But eventually, it's gonna come to sadness, and it fucking sucks. Not gonna talk about it yet. But yeah, Justin Long and Gina Phillips, another highlight of this movie.
Yes,
Absolutely.
one.
And with our third positive for this movie, the mystery and disturbing nature of the creeper. Now, what is the creeper? When I was a kid, when I first watched this movie, I thought it was just some psycho, like Hannibal Lecter, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of Leatherface, like that. Thomas Hewitt, something like that. Scary as fuck, dude. You know, almost like a Billy Loomis serial killer type. And I'm like, this dude is... I thought he was a cannibal, like a crazy truck driver cannibal killer. But as the movie progresses, you realize some weird things. Like, he starts sniffing their laundry. And, you know, as a kid, it's like, okay, he might be a weirdo. And then in the movie where the creeper appears on top of the cop car, I was like, what the hell? How did he get up there? I thought he was just some normal dude. And, you know, 9-year-old me still thinks he's a normal fucking human being. And then we get to the farm scene to where he comes out with the old lady. And you see what the hell this thing is. We don't know what the creeper is, but oh my god, he is fucking terrifying. Now, we're going to show a deleted scene right now of the creeper talking, and you'll get our honest opinions about it. Here's a video of the deleted scene.
She don't smell too good. There he is.
Now, in my opinion, I actually like the creeper talking because it adds that subtle scariness to where, like, he can mimic a human voice. You know, it's not too demonic, it's not too deep, it's just, it's almost human-like. And I know for some, they may not like it because it kind of takes them out of the scariness of the creeper. But it goes to show that this is an intelligent fucking, whatever this thing is, it's an intelligent creature, demon, or whatever the hell it is, that it can mimic, it can talk like a human, so you don't know how old this thing is or what the hell it is. How did you guys feel about the creeper's voice or when he talked?
I mean, for me, I feel like I see him more of like as an animal monster. Okay. So it kind of takes it out of that. Because when you're thinking about intelligence, it means it gives him a choice. When I think of him as an animal, it's an instinct and he has to do it, which would make it scarier for me.
Okay, I actually... Damn, I like that. No, that's a really good one. That's good. Jocelyn?
Okay, so I will agree with Izzy on some aspects that it would almost kind of take me out of the zone, only for the fact that, like, before this scene with that old lady, you've seen a lot of animalistic features, like kind of like with the sniffing, like almost like a bloodhound. He doesn't really speak often, and he moves around like a creature. So you are more in that mindset than more of like the intelligence mindset. So I think when I first saw it, it was like, okay, surprising. Not sure how I felt about it. But I mean, to Vicente's point that you don't know what this creature is. You don't know how long it's been around. You do not know like what the actual origin is. So maybe it is more intelligent than we really realize in this first film. So I can see to his point how that is very intriguing, and it makes you want to know more. Like, hey, what is this thing really capable of? How long has it existed?
Now, when we watched the movie, did you guys ever think it was just a crazy psycho truck driver?
For me, when I first watched the film, that was the vibes I was getting. But then after I saw all the sniffing, I'm like, okay, I feel like it's something different.
Yeah, the same thing. And you even mentioned it, Vicente, how when you were 9 years old, you thought this was just like a creeper or whatever. And I did too for a good minute. And you definitely get that impression for the first good majority of the movie. But no, it got way too creepy. Like, yeah, this can be like a human, but there's more to this. It's either like not fully human or it's just definitely a creature. So
yeah, and the scary aspect is that you don't know what the hell this thing is. And another disturbing thing is that when Derry stupidly goes down the fucking hole in the church pipe, you see what this creature has for art. And I think it's dubbed either the House of Pain or House of Horror. I'm not sure what it's dubbed by creeper fans, but you see bodies stitched up, preserved perfectly. And I think, like, even bodies from, like, fucking, what, like 50 years back then, just all disgusting. And my God, like, it adds more to that creep factor of the creeper. Like, how long has this thing been alive for? You know, I've heard theories. I've heard that it was a human that's cursed. I heard it's a gargoyle. I've heard it's a demon. I've heard it's an alien. Like, there's even theories that say it's an alien, too. Now, whether or not any of that is true, one thing for sure is that there's always going to be a mystery about the creeper. And that disturbing about it, like, what's another disturbing fact about it is that when it smells the fear in you, in someone, it sniffs you because it wants to know what it wants from you. It knows you're scared, and it adds more to it. And in the movie, when Trish and Derry run it over, and he loses his legs and other body parts, this fucking creeper, dude, eats prisoners and replaces his own hand, his own legs, missing limbs. And it's so disgusting. And it's like, this thing can eat at will. And, you know, only thing we really know about it is that for every 23 years, it gets to eat during the spring for 23 days. And that's fucking terrifying. I wouldn't want to deal with it. That's why I will never go to Florida. That's where the movie takes place supposedly.
So it's just Florida that you won't go to?
Yeah, no, fuck that.
You won't go to Florida. We tried many times.
Yeah, so, like, in a way, I kind of like that we don't know what the creeper is. Do I want to know? Yes, I want to know what the creeper is. But at the same time, it kind of adds to that mystery and disturbing more on what it is. And it always keeps you guessing. Maybe we're supposed to think all these theories. Maybe it is an alien. Maybe it is a demon. We'll never know because this franchise gets fucked. But I kind of like that we're left in the dark for a while.
Yeah, I think our imagination is what makes the movie scarier.
Oh, yeah. Just knowing that this thing could be anything and we don't even know what the hell it is. All we know is that for 23 days, for every 23 years, it gets to eat. And if you're scared of this thing, you're fucked. That's all I'm going to say. And you better hope it never finds you. And with our fourth positive, the police station scene. Like we said, this creature, the creeper, straight up is eating prisoners just to replace his lost body parts. That's disgusting. That's just creepy in its own right. And when an officer is doing a checkup because the power goes out, oh my God, this cop unloads like a lot of bullets into this thing. It's not affecting it whatsoever. And one of the characters, Giselle, even says that it probably has so many hearts that it doesn't know when its owner's gonna stop beating. That's scary. And so you have these cops trying to contain this thing. They don't know what the hell they're dealing with it. And then there's a scene to where this stupid cop goes and checks out a noise by himself. God forbid why he does it, but it adds to that scary factor. And he turns around and looks at his fellow officers. The fucking creeper comes from the ceiling and rips out his heart. It is disgusting. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Jonathan Breck has a cameo as one of the cops. They kind of show him for a little bit. We'll show a video right now, or I'll show a picture right now of where Jonathan Breck was. But yeah, that's him. Wow, it is cool. I think I didn't learn about it until like maybe 5 years ago when I rewatched it. Yeah, that entire police station scene, full of action, full of horror, while Giselle, the characters of Giselle, Trish, and Derry are trying to figure out a way to escape. They don't know what the hell's going on. They just saw that this thing, it wants either Trish or Derry. We in our audience do not know what it is. it's heart racing, and I love that entire sequence.
Yeah, for me, I think the creepiest part and most memorable part about that scene is when you see the creeper climbing against the wall.
Oh, like towards Giselle and stuff. Holy crap! Another scene I like is when there's the two-way mirror, and the creeper is sniffing the mirror. Because even though Trish and the creeper can't see each other, the creeper knows they're in there, and he breaks through the door and he starts sniffing him. And it's so, oh my God,
Wasn't the creeper able to see Trish?
Yes.
From the inside?
Yes and no, it could sniff.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the nostrils thing, yeah. So technically it couldn't see her, but it could sniff her. It knew the fear.
Oh.
Okay. Or it probably sniffed out Derry.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, just imagine that whole thing. That creature is literally holding you, sniffing you. You don't know what the hell it wants from you. You just know that one of you is gonna die. Oh my God, yeah, that scene, awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot imagine myself standing there getting sniffed by this creature.
Knowing that either you or your brother, one of you guys aren't gonna make it. That's for sure. The cops can't save you. There's just no way. All you can do is just wait for your inevitable fate.
Yeah, it was absolutely like terrifying, and the fact that they were able to like just kind of stand there while they were both being sniffed out by the creeper, I'm just like, I would be screaming for my life. I'm like, no thank you. But definitely that whole police station scene was definitely intense. Like the scene that creeped me out the most was that first initial scene when the police officer went to go check on the prisoners and such and sees the creeper eating one of the prisoners. That the creeper just looks so gross and terrifying. I'm like,
it's like an animal, like an apex predator claiming its trophy.
Exactly. And then also, granted, this scene was scary, but I actually really loved it. Was actually the scene with the creeper punching out getting the heart from the police officer. I'm like, ooh, that was cool in a scary way.
Yeah, police station scene, fucking awesome. 10 out of 10. And finally, with our last positive, the ending is one of the most fucked up in all of horror movies. Now, we see the creeper sniffing Trish and Derry. We know one of them is going to get taken. Giselle says that one of them is going to get taken and that they're going to be screaming in the dark while the Jeepers Creepers song plays as they scream. The creeper sniffs Trish a few more times and then it goes to Derry, but with Derry, it's like it's enjoying sniffing Derry and it throws Trish aside. And you realize, fuck, it wants Derry. And the cops come in, yada yada yada. Trish tries to offer herself, which is a dumb thing because the creeper doesn't want someone who's willing to give himself up. The creeper wants someone that's scared, and Derry is scared. He knows, like, God, I can only imagine how he was feeling being held by the creeper. Mm-hmm. Like, there's nothing you can do at that point. Mm-hmm. And as Trish tries to negotiate with it, which I don't know why she tried in the first place. I get it, but I don't get it. The creeper flies out the window, and Trish tries to run after him, and all you can see is the silhouette of the creeper flying away with Derry, and God forbid what the hell is going on through Derry's thoughts. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to the morning of the aftermath, to where Trish asked Giselle, the psychic, did you know, are your visions ever true? Did you know it was always going to be Derry? And this will be a negative. She fucking doesn't give a clear answer, which is very fucking annoying because that is someone's brother, goddammit. And so Trish is trying to hold on to the hope that Derry's still alive. But oh no, we cut to an abandoned meat factory. And this is where Jocelyn starts getting a little disturbed. We hear the screams of Justin Long's character Derry screaming in the dark. We kind of hear it outside, but the more we get inside to where the creeper's new lair is, the screams get louder and louder and louder. Boom, boom. And we finally see what the creeper wants. It wanted Derry's eyes. Now, because he was scared, but this is something I never told you two, Izzy or Jocelyn.
Uh-huh.
The creeper wanted Derry's eyes too because he saw the House of Pain. And in a way, it was to punish him.
Oh.
That's why he wanted his eyes. And that's why because Derry was scared because of what he saw. If Trish would have if it was roles were reversed, it would have taken Trish. Because Trish would have been disturbed. Because in the movie, Trish doesn't really believe Derry. No one really does until the creeper starts some shit. Mm-hmm. And then, fun fact: Justin Long is in the creeper suit. That's why the creeper has brown eyes all of a sudden, and it's so fucked up because this is a character you love that's so sweet and innocent, and it's Justin fucking Long. Who doesn't love Justin Long? You know, and this is one of the reasons why I love this horror movie and respect it, was because it pulled no punches. It sucks because in horror movies, not everyone will get a happy ending. And the fact that this happened to one of the nicest characters in the movie and in horror movie history, it sucks. It hurts me as much as Randy Meeks dying in Scream 2.
Yeah. Now,
there were two endings. The original ending involved the creeper and Derry dying together with the creeper truck ramming into an oncoming train, and an explosion kills both of them because the director didn't want a franchise, which, you know, I would have loved as a one and done movie. And the original and then the alternate ending, which was actually filmed, it shows the creeper's face kind of transforming into his original face, but you can tell that it ate Justin Long's head. It ate Derry's head, and it's molding, kind of like in Jeepers Creepers 2, where we kind of see the teenager's face before it molds into the original creeper face. Now, for me, I kind of prefer the ending that we got. It adds more to it, especially when you see Derry's lifeless body, just eyeless and everything. Oh, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, for me, that scene was freaking intense. I kind of forgot how intense and scary this scene was until we watched it the other day. But I feel like scenes, not having a happy ending is what makes horror movies horror. You don't want a happy ending. You don't want everybody to be safe in the end. You want there to be scary stuff and, like, something horrific happen. It's horror.
Like, you want stakes.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's what makes a good horror movie. That not everyone will be safe.
Yeah. And first thing I gotta add, why does Justin Long have such, like, bad luck when it comes to horror movies?
He does. Tusk, Barbarian, Jeepers Creepers, hell, even Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
So here's my thing on that. In some of the movies where he gets fucked up in horror movies, I feel like that's his own character's fault, though, depending on the movie.
Yes.
Depending, yes, but I would say in this one, he's such an innocent character.
Yeah, no, in this movie he did not deserve it, but some of the other ones, like Barbarian and Tusk, I could debate.
Yeah, I know in Barbarian he definitely was not a good character. Tusk, I've only seen clips of, but still. But I'm talking about in general, Justin Long always having bad luck in horror movies, but that's why I love him as an actor, so it's really good. I definitely did see the alternate ending with the creeper having eaten Justin's head. That was pretty cool. And then something that I did mention to both Vicente and Izzy about the other ending where there was like an ultimate sacrifice. I'm not gonna say it would have been horrible, but I definitely think it would have lost that charm that the horror movie is and the horror genre is. Not to say you can't pull off a good sacrifice scene, but I just think the original ending that we got was perfect. When I was sitting with them watching it a few days ago, when I was hearing the screams from Derry, I think I was more scared about the fact that I didn't see him being tortured than with just hearing his voice. Because then for me, I'm imagining all of the stuff that he is going through, like how horrific it is, how terrified he is, and I'm getting all that through the screams while also moving through this creepy location. So I definitely really loved this ending. This ending was like the best part of the movie for me.
Yeah, it's a very strong ending, even though it's very, very fucked up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And now we're moving on to our negatives, and we only have 2 negatives, but they are legitimate negatives, you know, not nitpicking. And we're starting out with our first negative: Derry and Trish going back to the church. Now, Derry and Trish see the creeper dumping bodies down the church pipe, and the creeper spots them, and it tries to run them off the road. Now, Trish even calls out Derry when she says, "Why are we going back? There is no reason for us to go back." You know the thing in horror movies when people tell you, "Don't do it," that's what we're doing. She is fucking smart in that scene.
Oh, yeah.
And then the fact that Derry stupidly wants to go check. I get it. You want to make sure there's someone alive. Like there's nothing important. But dude, you guys almost died. And there's a lot of theories that said that if they just would have ignored what the creeper did, they would have been okay. That the creeper would have left them alone. I highly doubt that. It could have happened. There's probably a slight chance he could have lived. But at the end of the day, it's just such a stupid scene. It's like, to me, if I saw that, I'm calling the cops right away. Yeah. Regardless, I'm calling the cops. Mm-hmm. That way, the creeper doesn't get alerted and the cops come there before the creeper is able to burn down the church. But it's the stupidity. It's one of the things I don't like about this movie is that they just stupidly go back to their church knowing that this dude's a psycho and he can come back any moment. And it's like, dude, you are playing with fire at that point.
Now, I don't know if they were to just left and not come back and they've called the police and all that stuff. I don't think the creeper would have gone after them unless their fear was very potent and he could really smell it from all the way from where he was at. But then again, if he's been doing this for a while and there's other people that he can catch, I think he might have forgotten about the two of them.
You see, but that's where I say that I highly doubt it because Jerry saw what was down there already. So it knew, but yet again, who knows? When the creeper really, really wants you, he's going to stop no matter what to get you. But like I said, we don't know if the creeper would have gone after him if they just would have left it alone. Left it right then and there.
Yeah.
But it's such a white people thing to do in horror movies. Well, I would never have gone back. I am sorry. If you were alive, nope, I am just driving, minding my business, calling the cops. You have a good day. Shit, I didn't see nothing.
Plus, it's also the young curiosity side. I mean, they clearly saw him dumping white sheets that look like they're wrapping around a body. I was like, no, that's an immediate sign. You speed the hell up and you drive far, far away.
Yep, I agree. And finally, for our last negative, the character of Giselle. Now, this is a big, big negative for me, and I wanted to save it for last. This character literally served no purpose other than plot convenience. So later on in the movie, during the middle of the second act, Derry and Trish go to a diner and they ask for a phone to report the bodies found in the church, the abandoned church. And Giselle fucking calls them, somehow knowing their name, and she claims to be a psychic. And this is where we kind of get a little backstory of the creeper, which to me, I don't know why, that's literally what she's serving for. And she says she's been having nightmares of one of them getting taken by the creeper. And they're trying to ask, who is it? In hopes of them changing their fate. She's playing a fucking guessing game, which is stupid enough already. And then they go to the police station. They're in police custody. Giselle somehow knows to go there and finds them. And even the chief of police is telling Giselle, get out, dude. You are literally not helping at all. Fuck, even the character in a horror movie knows that she's useless. And this is where she kind of tells us a little backstory of the creeper somewhat about every 23 years for 23 days it gets to eat. And she's telling him that one of them gets taken and she knows who it is, but she's not saying. She's lying through her ass. And because of her, Derry gets taken. Now, I'm not trying to say there is a chance of them escaping. That's highly unlikely. But they could have fought a little harder. And Giselle is just playing this fucking guessing game over and over and over again. And I just do not like her character. I love the actress. She's a good actress. She did what she could with the script. But my God, dude. And to me, that is so cliche. There's a local psychic that is going to give us a fucking origin story on this thing. What I would have preferred if they saw missing posters of the creeper victims, and the chief of police says that some of these victims go back a while back. That way, it's not exactly an origin story, but it makes more sense that the cops have been investigating this thing for a while. They don't know what the creeper is. They're just thinking these are kidnapping cases. That way, you still get a little bit of the origin story, but you don't get that cliche psychic character. And I already said enough about this character. She just irritates the fuck out of me. Because of you, dude, Derry got killed. You kept playing the guessing game. You were just very annoying.
Yeah, it's the fact that she was still alive by the end of the movie that still made me mad.
Oh, as a kid, I was hoping the creeper just would have fucking taken her and left the other two alone. I was like, dude, how are you still alive? I just do not like the guessing game.
See, for me, the idea of her character doesn't bother me, but the way that they wrote it, and like it'd make more sense if she was like a past survivor of the attacks and then did a bunch of research and did all that, not just saying, oh, I'm having dreams and I need to tell you this to these random teenagers.
Yeah, that you see, that would have been better, to where she had someone that she loved taken by the creeper. Yeah, sure, fine, you want to keep her psychic, go ahead, but at least that she was a past survivor and she researched about the creeper, missing cases that go way back, you know, back to like maybe the fucking 20s and 30s and stuff. That way it's still a little bit somewhat redeemable. But yeah, no, I don't like the character Giselle. She's literally there when the plot needs it for plot convenience. She just sucks, and she plays this guessing game way too much, and I hate it.
Especially at the end.
Oh, yep, especially at the end when she's not being honest. It's like, dude, right now, you need to tell the truth because people are dying left and right.
Yeah. I honestly thought I was going to like this character because when I saw the cast list before we started watching the movie, I immediately recognized her from Good Luck Charlie as Mrs. Dabney. I'm not going to lie. So that's why I thought I was going to like her. But then Vicente pointed out that I was going to hate her in the movie. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm watching it and I'm seeing her character. And it's the fact that she comes out of nowhere with not only that first phone call to Derry about this random details about the creeper, but then shows up to the police station to help out when she literally had no substance. It had no end game. There was no real reason to have her. And even I guess the whole thing maybe plot convenience. I mean, yeah, but you don't get an idea of actually how she knows this stuff. She just spouting things off as she's a psychic. And just like Izzy said, the fact that she's a psychic, it's not that it's a horrible plot, but it just goes nowhere. She doesn't answer it clearly. Her visions are hella weird when she wants them to be. And like I even just said right now, she didn't even die. Okay, you came there to help, but you did nothing. And how they were saying, it would have been cool, hey, maybe she was a past victim, maybe someone that she loved was taken by the creeper, and she encountered it, but the creeper didn't want her. That would have been at least something to go off of, instead of oh, I have visions, here's what you need to know, and someone's gonna die, but I'm not gonna tell you who it is. That just made me more frustrated more than anything throughout this movie.
Perfectly said. And that's going to be our film review of Jeepers Creepers. It's a good horror movie, even though sometimes these characters are acting dumb and the character Giselle just fucking sucks. It is a very good horror movie. It just sucks that it's tarnished by this controversial legacy made by the director. And I can't wait to talk about Jeepers Creepers 2. That's going to be fun. I feel like you're actually going to somewhat like it a little bit more than the first one.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that because I definitely need to see the second one, but I am probably not going to watch any further than that, especially from what I've been hearing about these later movies.
You know what? That's okay.
Yeah, we don't blame you. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching, listening, and leave a comment, leave a like, and we'll catch you next episode. Peace out.
Bye, guys.